Hello and welcome to haQ. My name is Jakob. I'm your host and you're watching a haQ episode. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about an oscilloscope. You see, a little while ago I did a video. They're so loud, the birds, but they're so beautiful. A little while ago I did a video on an oscilloscope that I thought would be perfect. It wasn't perfect because I did have some complaints in that video and I talked about some stuff I would want in an oscilloscope. And you know what? Someone was listening. There is this one developer who is, come on, who is also a patron of mine, someone who's made apps in the past and worked in the industry. Well, this person listened to what I said, I think, and it turns out that, well,
I made auSCOPEx as an answer to your, I've waited 6 years for this scope. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make my scope.
This was exactly everything I asked for. Now, I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am that David decided to do this. So far, he's made 2 apps that I absolutely love, and I want to see more from this guy. I even did an entire interview with David, and unfortunately, I can't show much more of that interview right now, but I will be covering David more in the future. I just have to. So here we are. This is auSCOPE, and as you can see, it really is simplistic. If I double tap it, it fills the screen, and it's even better in standalone mode because then it truly fills the screen. Now there is a menu here, and you get to the menu by tapping, and here you can see some controls for adjusting the view. Now the menu will hide itself away if you do not touch the screen for a while. However, you can also set it to not do that. So tap the screen, go into the cogwheel menu, and we're going to scroll down here and press always show. Now, right at the top here, we have the trigger settings, stuff you'll always find in an oscilloscope, of course. And then at the bottom here, you have some layout settings and coloring options. Now, I like having my scope in cyan and magenta, and so I'm going to have it like that. Now, with the layout settings here, it's pretty sweet. You can actually have the channels shown right next to each other like this, and you can have them placed on top of one another like this, or you can have them superimposed on one another too. You can turn channels off up here under display channel. And you can show both channels pretty much as one. And when you do that, you get their own coloring option right here. Now I'm gonna set them to this because I like this view, and I'm also gonna add some grid lines. Yeah, that looks really nice. Now, there is this one thing that makes this scope so brilliant for me, because there was this one thing that I complained about in my first video that I did, the one that I mentioned earlier and the one that made David even make this scope in the beginning. And it was the fact that as soon as you started playing lower octaves, you couldn't really see what was going on anymore because the scope wasn't really sampling a full cycle. What do I mean? Well, I'll show you. So I'm gonna bring up the keyboard and I'm gonna bring up auSCOPE, double tap and double tap. And I'm gonna play a note. Now, what I want when I'm doing my sound design and I wanna look at a waveform is, I want one single cycle of a waveform showing in my view. And right now, if I play a higher note, we can see more. We can see 2.5 cycles right now. And if I go down here, we can no longer see an entire cycle. As you can see, like it becomes almost unusable for us. So how do we get around that? Well, David implemented MIDI in here. So the first thing we're going to do is open up the cogwheel menu, go to this spot here where we can see this MIDI icon and activate it. And now auSCOPE is listening to MIDI. However, we also need to make sure that whatever we're playing is being sent to auSCOPE. So I'm gonna go out of here, open up the MIDI settings, and make sure that the keyboard notes are being sent to auSCOPE. If I play a note, we can now see that auSCOPE is sampling a perfect cycle for me to view. And if I go down an entire octave, it still does that. And this is lovely. Exactly what I wanted. Thank you so much, David. Thank you for making professional tools like this. This is everything I ever wanted. So I want to make sure that everyone who loves oscilloscopes or love working with oscilloscopes knows about this one. Just go and get it. Mosquitoes, mosquitoes. If you want to go and check out auSCOPE yourself, then I've put a link down in the description and also in a pinned comment. If you liked this video, then press the thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, press the thumbs down. And if you want to help support me in a financial way, then go check out my music. I got a full list of links down in the description. I've also got a Patreon and I've got PayPal. And if you don't want to do any of that, then that's fine too. As usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. Played several times in other videos, but a truck. Well, there's a truck over there. You probably can't see it, but I give up. I'm using the takes I have. I give up. I'm going home.